The cryptocurrency industry's sanctions woes are on full display in MetaMask's Venezuela incident. MetaMask and Infura enraged crypto Twitter by inadvertently censoring some users in order to comply with new US restrictions. Crypto observers were outraged Thursday after rumors on Reddit appeared that MetaMask, many people's entry point into the world of Ethereum, had been made inaccessible to users in Venezuela. According to a series of tweets, Infura, the infrastructure firm also owned by Ethereum company ConsenSys, enforced new geoblocks on Thursday but applied them too liberally. The error had been corrected, according to Infura, but not before critics claimed that the experience demonstrated a flaw in what is widely touted as the uncensorable internet. Infura closely monitors changes to US sanctions programs issued by the Office of Foreign Assets Control and tightly tailors its internal procedures to comply with the law, a ConsenSys spokeswoman said in an email to CoinDesk. At the moment, those regions are Iran, North Korea, Cuba, Syria, and Ukraine's Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk regions. The ban of these places comes as regulators increase their inspection of the crypto industry's compliance with sanctions imposed by the United States and other national authorities against Russian businesses. Regulators and lawmakers, including US Senator Elizabeth Warren and German Finance Minister Christian Lindner, have expressed worry that cryptocurrency may be used to undermine sanctions. Exchanges, for example, have stated that they will block sanctioned individuals, but they have not, on the whole, blocked entire countries. By design, MetaMask connects to the Ethereum blockchain via Infura. MetaMask's default endpoints, unless changed by users, make it vulnerable to Infura's geographic no-go zones. Crypto on Thursday, Twitter was reminded of this fact when Infura accidentally cast a dragnet that was too wide. Rumors circulated about a total blockade of Venezuela. Pundits falsely claimed that MetaMask had been banned in a country where crypto is booming and the US has imposed long-standing but not absolute sanctions. When we changed some configurations as a result of the new sanctions orders from the US and other jurisdictions, we unintentionally configured the settings more broadly than they needed to be, Infura stated in a tweet on Thursday. Infura recognized the outrage, apologized for its mistake, and stated that service had been restored to inadvertently damaged regions, albeit it did not identify Venezuela. MetaMask echoed the apology in its own tweet, saying that it relies on Infura for blockchain access. MetaMask is still a decentralized tool, said Kieran Daniels, CEO of crypto firm SmartDefi, in a Twitter message to CoinDesk. It's just that their default connections aren't working. MetaMask noted in a tweet that users can establish their own endpoints by going into app settings. It provided instructions on how to do so. Season of sanctions. The encounter, which took place in the midst of a global discussion on cryptocurrency and sanctions, showed the seemingly contradictory reality of running uncensorable financial services over centralized railroads. Infura, for example, provides critical developer and infrastructure services to a variety of Ethereum-based applications. However, it is a US corporation subject to federal law. When Infura imposes restrictions, such as it did on Thursday, the repercussions are felt far and wide. As a centralized corporation supported by investors like as JP Morgan, infrastructure providers such as Infura are exposed to regulatory concerns, said Josh Neuroth, CEO of decentralized cloud services business Anchor in a statement. This over-reliance on centralized service providers contradicts everything Web3 stands for and is supposed to be, and creates a central point of failure that should not exist in the first place. Anchor Incorporated is a firm based in the United States. When questioned if this meant Anchor would have to follow US Treasury Department sanctions regulations, Neuroth replied, "But the team is working as soon as possible towards moving to a protocol that exists in the network and isn't governed by a firm, but a DAO." The perplexing sequence of events on Thursday was exacerbated by a frequently updated troubleshooting page on MetaMask's website. When CoinDesk first reported on this subject, the article was titled "Why MetaMask and Infura Can't Service Specific Areas," feeding rumors that MetaMask was implementing blocks itself. Later, the headline was narrowed to Infura. By default, MetaMask connects to the blockchain through Infura, which is unavailable in certain jurisdictions owing to legal compliance, the page stated late Thursday. Users will receive an error notice if they attempt to utilize MetaMask in one of those regions. On Twitter, a chorus of commenters asserted that the entire incident demonstrated that MetaMask was not as decentralized as they had assumed. The fact that Infura, and so MetaMask, has long followed OFAC sanctions instructions was left unsaid. Users of cryptocurrency in Iran, North Korea, Cuba, and Syria were barred long before those in areas of Ukraine.